YouTube introduced a thing where you stream normally, and then it'll also send it to the Reels page. So if people are scrolling through, they might run into our stream. And so
that's interesting.
Yeah, my thought process behind it, at least for now, is that maybe someone will see it and then hop into the actual stream. So we'll see.
Yeah, so it's going to show up on Instagram Reels?
Oh, no, sorry, on like shorts on YouTube. No, not on Instagram.
I was surprised for a second.
Yeah, sorry. I always forget.
I was like, no way they'd be advertising another company.
I know. I can't remember what's what at this point. They're all, it's all the same thing to me. It's like I edit, finish one, and then I just post it on everything, and it's like, okay. I just use the terms interchangeably at this point. Just need
No, I get it.
Yeah, the short form. So it shows up on YouTube short form.
On the shorts, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
We post in the Discord.
Yeah.
And then we'll get started.
I saw that your shorts you made were doing good.
Yeah,
doing
dude.
Well.
Yeah, man. Just no matter what we talk about, we just need to bring up Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, right. That's the secret sauce.
I get it. People, it's something that people still
how the rip relates to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. The Rip versus Lord of the Rings. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Did you end up watching that?
No, unfortunately, I didn't get time to.
It's okay. We can talk about it another time.
I didn't watch Fallout either.
I haven't either. I'm just at this point.
But ironically, I guess my phone was tracing. You texted me to that, and I saw a Twitter post that said that The Rip has some of the worst dialogue and is one of the worst movies I've seen.
I don't know.
I think it was hyperbolic because they were saying it was just really generic.
It is, yeah. It's super generic. Like, it's not. There were some people saying, I can't remember where. It was probably on X or something like that. But I saw somebody mention something about it, and like I think Matt Damon was on Joe Rogan or something like that, and like talking about it and talking about how like they have to repeat dialogue so much because people aren't really paying attention, which is funny because like I still watch movies the old-fashioned way, I guess, where I just like I had heard somebody was like had said like, oh yeah, and I was like, all right, 2026, might as well get this whole thing started and watch that. It's the second new movie that I've seen this year. And
what was the first?
Bone Temple.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I think I like watched Bone Temple. I must have watched.
Then you watched A Night of the Seven Kingdoms episode 2 back to back, right? Like right after Bone Temple.
No, thankfully. Oh my gosh, dude. I think I've had enough of dongs for like a lifetime in cinema. Like I don't. It's not even the end of January, and I'm like, please no more. Like I don't know what this trend is, and I'm over it already.
I appreciate the heads up by you two telling me just to fast forward 30 seconds.
Dude, it's just
exactly what I did.
Yeah. It's funny because I was when you were kind of talking about your complaints last week, because I put that into one of the short forms that I released. Just you kind of talking about your feelings on the first episode and talking about how you're just like sort of over the nudity and like the crassness for crassness sake or whatever. And I was just expecting a lot. What's up, technically? Yeah, we were kind of talking about that. I was expecting more pushback from people. And one dude told you to grow up, and I thanked him for his insight. But, you know, I don't know. I'm always expecting more pushback from things like that because people... That seems to just be the tendency. Like, if someone's just like, yeah, I'm just not really into this, people are like... I mean, but
yeah, we're adults, so we need the maturity.
Nudity and or like whatever automatically means maturity or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I told you after that, like that scene happened because I knew it was going to happen. I didn't realize he was going to take a piss, and that was when I came to that conclusion that I think someone on the staff for the show has some kind of fetish for this stuff. Because like,
oh yeah, man, it wouldn't be surprising to me because of how pornified our culture is.
Yeah, and the one off or whatever, I'm like, okay. And I heard some people like talking about it or whatever, and I it made sense where they were like, the music for Game of Thrones is building up in that scene, and then that's when he takes the dump. So clearly that's like the comedic thing they were going for. That they're say what you will about how you feel about that, but I say the Venn diagram of the Seven Kingdoms and Bone Temple is a long cylinder. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's but yeah, man.
Hey, every director has their stick, right? Like the thing that makes them. And I guess this is theirs.
Yeah, for sure.
You know how Peter Jackson's like always eating a carrot in his?
Oh, is that his thing? I didn't know that.
At least in the first two movies, Fellowship and Two Towers.
Oh,
in Two Towers it was.
Yeah.
But he's also...
Well, he gets killed in the third one, right?
In the third one. But he also throws a spear, I think, or something in the second movie. Maybe the third one, too. So I don't know if he eats a carrot in the third one, but he does in the first two.
Yeah, unless he's playing somebody else besides the guy. Because he's driving the boat in the third one, right?
Yep.
And then he gets shot by Legolas.
By the arrow.
I love that part. I love that part. I love Gimli and Legolas, dude.
It's Viggo Mortensen's son.
I saw that.
I didn't fact check this, but allegedly, when they get off the boat and Aragorn makes his his first orc kill, it's actually Viggo Mortensen's son playing him.
Well, Joseph.
But I'm really nervous to see the third episode, David. I'm not gonna lie. I'm scared.
Just for the opening.
Yeah.
Well, my theory will be complete
just for the first minute.
Well, what are they gonna? What's next? Like, I don't. You had doo-doo and pee-pee. Like, where do you go after that?
I don't want to know, David. Don't ask. Don't ask the question, David.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully.
I mean, honestly,
Well, let me ask.
I know Game of Thrones centers around that, the nudity and the crassness, and I don't think it's any more crass than Game of Thrones was. But I think with Game of Thrones, you can make the argument that there was more substance to the episode, so you wouldn't get hung up on those things, even though I still don't want them to be in the TV shows and movies that I watch and everything like that. With them being so condensed time-wise,
sure,
they just stand out a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. And not to mention, especially that second one, it's just like it lingers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone would have to, actually go through and research that or whatever, but that feels like the most lingering shot. They usually hit it, it's there for a few seconds or whatever, and then they're moving on, and that it just very much kept going. Anyway, so let's move on. Let's move on from.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay, so other than that, just kind of general thoughts on the episode. I'm actually gonna.
I like the episode. I thought it was. I enjoy Dunk and Egg's interaction. I kind of thought, with the last episode when they finally got to that interaction, it lifted it up, them bouncing off of each other. Mm-hmm. And this one just continuing that elevated it. I enjoyed, Dunk seems, I don't know anything about Game of Thrones and the expanded universe or, whatever, but Dunk seems like the only actual good character outside of probably, what's her name? Brienne? Was that her name in Game of Thrones, or Brienne or something like that?
Tarth. Yeah.
Yeah, of Tarth. They seem like the only two actual true good characters that Martin has made. And so I enjoy seeing that. Egg is cool. Enjoyed let's see, I'm trying to think. I enjoyed the pacing of the episode, although when it ended, I was like, I wanted more. And so that led me to the conclusion that I feel like this is a series by HBO. They should have either released it 2 episodes at a time, or done it in 2 parts, or just released all of them at this point in where we are. I understand the weekly streaming deal, but with them being so short and it not being 12, 16, 20 episodes that are 30 minutes apiece, it seems like that week by week thing just, I guess it's good to be left wanting more, but I leave every episode wanting more.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, not more of the beginning stuff, but more of the actual content and mature aspect of the series. And here's the thing, we talked about this before with this hyper realism. Like, I can know historically and stuff, like, you don't have to be crude and crass for the sake of being like, well, that's how the culture was. Well, yeah, well, no crap. I mean, there's plenty of things of, we know how the culture was in various parts of the world now and in the past.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean every single thing has to be displayed. And there's ways to allude to things to where the audience imagination is good enough.
Well, I mean, I might be mistaken. I might try to look this up before the next time we record, but I thought the show was going to be, like, I knew it was still going to be probably, like, more mature, like, it's still Game of Thrones or whatever. But I could have sworn that people were talking about, or like when they were releasing information about this, that it was going to be geared, like, quote unquote, to a slightly younger audience. Like,
I don't know. That's a good question.
I kind of thought that was what they were planning on doing, which was, again, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe they're going to restrain themselves a little bit. And I guess you could say that they have to a degree, but, like, yeah, I thought it was going to be so much more, like, centrally focused on kind of, like, the lighthearted nature of that. And maybe that, when they say that, like, that just means something different to me to some degree than it does to them. Whatever. Yeah. It's, I'm not going to get hung up on it, but technically,
I don't know, I just miss, like, there's just something about the purity and the wholeness of the Lord of the Rings and Tolkien's world, and you don't have to hear everyone cursing and nudity to understand the picture and and what's at stake.
That's funny, because I think the tug of war was one of my favorite parts of the episode. Everybody
that was
screaming
funny.
and cursing at each other. It just that's what I'm saying, is, like, I think when things feel, I don't want to say real, well, when they feel real for that world, if that makes sense, I'm just so invested in it. And it's really funny that they can make even something like a tug of war with these characters and just all the little interactions, and, like, Egg, attempting to help the team or whatever. And that's the stuff that
I love sorry, let me interject. Yeah. When he hopped up on the rope, that was because had his feet touched the ground, they would have been disqualified. So that was actually or they would have lost, I should say. That was actually a smart play by him, because they were already over the line when Lionel just got up.
Yeah, he leads. And, like, that's the stuff that I've always really liked about just this medium in general. And it's what we're always talking about, where Game of Thrones and these series, for all of their sorry, technically he's like, I want to see Aragorn pushing out logs on his way to Helm's Deep. They
get out of here. Technically,
one of the things that he does, like, or that, like, they've done really well with Game of Thrones across the board, even for the complaints that I have, is that they do a lot of the show don't tell really well. It's something that we've always complimented House of the Dragon for. It's been a while since I've gone back and actually watched Game of Thrones. Like, season 8 really, it's tough. I might have to go back and watch, like, the first few seasons again just to kind of see some of that. But they always did a really good job with the character dynamics and helping you learn who they were. And this show, much smaller scale, and I like that because it really reminds me, especially of, like, season 1 of Game of Thrones, where everybody is hanging out, talking, you're getting to know characters. They still do the stuff where characters will say things, and a character will make a glance or will make not even necessarily subtle, but they'll have some sort of expression, and without them having to belt out dialogue, you are getting an idea of how they feel about the situation.
Dude, I picked up on that when, the episode opens and he's getting rejected by what's his name, saying, "Hey, no, I don't remember, Sir Arlen," and the next person, and you can kind of see, like, by the expression on his face, as everyone's telling no from the beginning of episode 1 to now, his confidence is getting beaten down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his hope of actually being able to become a knight is getting beaten down, but it's not being said, but you can see the expression on his face every time someone says, "No, I don't know, Sir Arlen," and then finally when what was his name, Baelor, said it. That was nice. I got a feeling Baelor is going to be somewhat of the hand of the king is going to be a good character.
It should be interesting.
Like, actually a decent lord or higher born.
Well, so he is a Targaryen.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay,
like Prince or whatnot. Most of them are crap. So
we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Do you? Because I found some stuff out after the episode. Well, I actually already knew some of this. So I'm going to try to stay away from spoilers because I don't know how much you are kind of like history-wise aware of. Do you know who Egg is? Like, have you picked up on that yet? Okay, cool.
Yes. Yeah. I know. I mean, they kind of made it.
It's pretty obvious. Like,
I was picking up on it in the first episode, and then this episode made it obvious. So.
Yeah. But so far,
you want to say it? Spoilers for everybody listening.
I guess spoilers.
If you didn't pick up on it, and again, I don't know for sure, so let me say I can 100% confirm. But I can 100% confirm it without he's a Targaryen.
Technically, it was spoiled years ago in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So he is Aegon Targaryen. He's a Targaryen, and is. I'll stay away from some of the other stuff, but there is a reason that he currently has a shaved head.
Now I don't know why he has a shaved head.
I won't get into it, but there's another character from House of the Dragon who shaved their head.
Oh, I forget what's his name.
His name is slipping my mind because he isn't all that important anymore. It's one of maybe technically remembers that guy's name. He had the dreads, and they thought he was Rhaenyra's husband.
What's his name?
They sent him away. It's been so long I'm just out of the loop.
I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, you can check it out.
It was the sea snake's son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they obviously do that for specific reasons.
Yeah, because it's highly obvious. But I guess Baelor is showing that you don't have to have that hair in order to be a Targaryen since he has brunette hair.
Yeah, faked his death.
Or
and
Corlys.
Corlys, yeah, his son.
Yeah, his son.
Yeah, wait.
Gosh, they're waiting way too long for.
We're getting that this year too, though,
seasons.
right?
Yeah. Finally. Yeah. Good grief.
Yeah, we'll get the rest of season 2 and then probably all of season 3.
Yeah, when we start collecting AARP and Social Security.
But yeah, I was just kind of that's the only right now the only thing that I think the runtime really kind of messes with is like our ability to have like longer conversations about the show.
Yes.
But I don't know. They're short and sweet in a way that I think
Laenor
works well.
Was his name.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. They're short and sweet in a way that I like. I think you had mentioned this last week, but they really aren't wasting a lot of time. There's not a lot of filler.
Nope.
The characters are doing what they need to do, and we're in and we're out, and we're moving on. It was a problem that one of the many problems that Welcome to Derry had, where there was too much going on. It's one of the problems that we talk about with Fallout all the time. So it's, happy to...
It's better to have shorter episodes that are contained and have good pace to them versus, we need to make it an hour long because it's Game of Thrones, and then you add a ton of filler to it to where it doesn't really take you anywhere.
Yeah. And it's
You're
just...
not learning anything about the characters, no narrative. But I think at this one, it does a good job of the pacing and spending time with each characters and introducing new characters in a meaningful way.
Mm-hmm. And I like that. I think by the time that we see the end of the season, because it's only 6 episodes, right? Is it 6?
Yeah, it's only 6 episodes.
I think by the time we get to see all of it, we're going to have like a really nice, like tight story. And I think ultimately, because I still want to kind of wait till I've seen all of it to have a better picture of how I feel about like the episodes. Because I think you're right. I think I would have preferred they do like 2, 2, and 2. I think it would have done a little more service to the show to some degree. But then the question is, why didn't you just make it 3-hour-long episodes, right?
Yep.
At that point, you could have so whatever. I mean, it is what it is.
It seems. I think I heard someone said that this seems better as a movie than as this TV series, and I completely agree with that.
I can understand that
because it does.
I think I mentioned something about that. I think
maybe it was you.
I think I told you at one point that it almost would have made. There's the potential that it would have made more sense to do like a long movie. Like it would be like a 3-hour movie rather than
or break it into 2 movies, you know, 2 3-hour movies since they're no, you're right. Yeah. 3-hour movie. Sorry. I was thinking every episode was an hour long, but they're 30 minutes.
Yeah. Maybe 4 or whatever. But I literally sat through Return of the King a couple weeks ago in the theater. Like a 4-hour movie is no big deal at this point. And I think most people don't care. Like,
I think that's a little bit different, but maybe Game of Thrones could.
I think so. I think people are willing
capture it.
Yeah, I think people are still willing to do it, especially if it's just the quality's there, Yeah. That's always the problem that we have. Like I don't even want to sit through Fallout. I don't want to sit through 10 minutes of Fallout.
We stopped even reviewing it. I didn't even watch it. And they finally figured out, hey, Amazon has, I can't speak to the other ones. HBO's been doing it, but Amazon has finally figured out that they're releasing they release episode 7 and they're releasing episode 8 next week at 6:00 on Tuesdays now.
Oh, for Fallout,
so prime time,
right at the end of the season.
Yeah,
it's dumb.
For prime time because they figured out what television has known for 75 years.
Yeah, it's clearly a move because their viewership has been terrible. Like it's dropped off like an insane amount, which isn't surprising because it's. Oh, dude, it's a slog.
Those death claws are big and bad, but as long as you got a chain link fence, you're good, dude.
Yeah, as long as you have some sheet metal between you and the death claw, it's totally fine, right?
They can crumble hotel walls.
Yeah, stands up, crumbles. Crumbles
cement. Can't get through that chain link fence, man.
It's so frustrating, man. We're gonna talk. I've got some other stories once we're done talking about this because there's a couple things. This is just like. I'm telling you, it has to be like internet brain rot to some degree. It's so frustrating, man, because it's like some of this stuff is the most simple problem solving when you're talking about stories where if you're going to have something like the Deathclaw and you're going to show how powerful it is, and then you're going to show like a sheet metal door basically with a lock on it. And then I'm supposed to sit there and be like, yeah, that makes sense. That'll keep them back. Like, are you kidding?
You're breaking the immersion.
Yeah, it's not 100% the same. I guess it is, but it's like the Snickers thing from the most recent Jurassic World movie, where it's just like, you're telling me this incredibly complicated system that's supposed to keep this very dangerous monster behind a door was undone by a Snickers wrapper. It's a very similar kind of thing.
Yep.
And I just it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
It's why, like, I was telling, I've taken over our, like, doing our like Instagram posts or whatever to try to keep that going, just for that extra little bit of reach or whatever. I actually think I need to still put our Linktree thing on there. But our old roommate Garrett messaged me because he was asking me about like our thoughts on the Oscars or whatever, and I was like, we don't I told him I was like I thought Sinners was all right, not 16 awards all right.
No, bro, that has to speak to how bad the selection of movies are this year. If Sinners has that many nominations.
What's weird is, like, I think Frankenstein was probably a better movie, like, overall. Like, I have a couple issues with it. I'd forgotten it got nominated till he told me. And I need to look at what else is on there, because, oh gosh, I don't really want to watch one battle after another. Like, I feel like I kind of already know everything about that movie, and it's like 3 hours long or whatever, And he even said, he was like, he's like, it's really immature, like the way that they handle the all of the you could call it messages or whatever, but the themes and all that kind of stuff. He's like, it's so not subtle. Which is like it's a problem, and because people see that and they're like, oh my gosh, I wonder what they could be speaking to in this moment. It's not great. And I told him, I was like, man,
I wonder how that applies to what's going on now.
Yeah, because he's really become, like, he loves the sort of like film side of it, like the way that stuff's shot and all of that, which I like too. And I told him, I was like,
the technical side of it.
Yeah, and I've told him, I was like, I've just gone so hard into, like, the script side of it and the way that your characters and your story works. It's like, because if you have that right, everything else can probably fall into place. We've seen at this point that, like, Hollywood, from a technical standpoint, other than, like, some of the CG slop that we get, like, when they are actually trying, like, that was the one thing I said about the Bone Temple, is, like, the Bone Temple, I didn't like it, but the cinematography is good in it. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, we could talk about Fallout. I mean, Fallout-wise, production design.
Yeah, I think they filmed
costume design.
They used film too for that. Like, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
It's not
good.
shot on digital. It's too clean.
It looks
still,
good.
Which I don't know if that's just like a problem with the fact that everything's 4K. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the show does look good. I think some of it still doesn't. There's still moments where I'm like,
yeah,
this feels too TV. Like, it's got
overall,
too much of that TV
I think it looks good, but still the story part doesn't elevate it to where it's like,
it's awful.
I want, to me, the writing is the foundation of any script, right? Yeah. So you got a foundation of the house. That's the most important part, right? And if you mess that up, it doesn't matter how good everything else is. Mm-hmm. The flooring and the walls and the windows and the electricity and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
If the foundation is crumbling, and the footings aren't installed correctly, in the same way with the writing, if your plot isn't that good, if the setting isn't good, if the characterizations if the characterizations aren't done well, and if there isn't a coherent flow to the story, everything's going to fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
All the other stuff. I mean, the cinematography, the sound design, all the technical aspects of the movie or TV show you're watching is just gonna fall away.
Agreed. I think a really good example of that is, how people will talk about some
Arcane.
Of the. Yeah, I mean, sure, but I'm taking it back to Lord of the Rings, of course.
Okay.
We're gonna ride this horse into the sunset, Joseph. The people talk about, like, the technical aspects of that movie and a lot of the really impressive stuff that they've done with it, and it wouldn't matter if it wasn't properly set up, if the dialogue didn't fit into some sort of interpretation of, like, what Tolkien wrote, because obviously a lot of it's not one for one, and they obviously changed some things. but it feels faithful to it from like that medium, which I think is hard for some people to wrap their minds around. It's like they wanted like a 16-hour movie with like 2 hours of Tom Bombadil, and you're just like, guys, calm down. Like, let's try to have like a realistic conversation about this. And it's fine. I understand. It'll never probably happen at this point. Like, I don't even know if we'll ever get a faithful TV series of those books, but
that's unfortunate, man, because Amazon, I mean, huge list by I guess we could say 3 streaming studios, including Game of Thrones, but Game of Thrones was successful up until season 8.
I mean, it was successful up until the end, pretty much. It just, after the end, everyone started going, wait a minute, because that one in particular.
But Netflix swung and missed with The Witcher. What I was getting at is Netflix swung and missed with The Witcher, which could have rivaled that.
Sure.
And then Amazon did the same thing with The Rings of Power, which again could have rivaled that.
We could have been living in like a golden age of fantasy television.
We could have been,
if people's egos got out of
Wheel
the way,
of Time,
which is a lot for Hollywood, I know, but yeah, Wheel of Time. They did announce. This is out of my wheelhouse too. This is a Justin thing. I might have to get him to come on at some point, and maybe him and Technically can come on, because I think Technically has read the Mistborn stuff too. But Brandon Sanderson, Apple, I think, acquired the rights to his a lot of his fantasy stuff, Mistborn in particular, which I think is really popular. Again, it's out of my wheelhouse a little bit, but all of it. Okay, cool. So he's very directly involved, and that is probably a good thing if you're a fan. I'm not gonna pay any attention to it until it actually comes out, so we can talk about it. Like I like being kind of on the outside and being like, okay, cool, let's see what they do with this without any sort of my like interpretation as someone who has read the material. Like I don't want to read the material. I want to see what they do, and I want to be able to like judge what they decide to do with this. I think that would be fun. And if it's really, really good, maybe it'll actually get me to pay more attention to the source material for it.
Yeah, that's kind of how it has to be these days. I mean, I know we're going to talk about video games, but you and I were talking this week about the Lord of the Rings open world RPG. And sometimes it can be good. They have a revenge studio, and maybe, it's a new studio set up from a bunch of different studios. But with these AAA games especially, you kind of have to wait for them to be announced and released to get a full understanding of how good they're actually going to be, because they can over promise and under deliver. Yeah, we were talking about that when we were speaking about the new Fable game, but also though, allegedly with the new Lord of the Rings game, Warhorse Studios is going to be behind the new one, allegedly, according to some rumors. But I
don't know anything about it. I'm looking,
and they're the ones they did. I think they did Kingdom Come Deliverance too.
Okay. Well, people like that game. That's at least from like a technical perspective. That's that's basically all they've done is Kingdom Come and Kingdom Come 2. Cool. Yeah. Well, we'll see. But we'll have to keep our eye on it.
So what would you give before we get to that? What would you give this episode of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms?
I think at this point, the show right now is like sitting at a solid 7 for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2 episodes. Fine. We're still, we're still early. It's good. I'm enjoying it, and it makes me smile, and I like a lot of the characters. And people have to remember that our scale is like, at least for me, my scale is like so different. Like 5 is average to me. Like if you're getting a 5 from me, that means that you have done like the bare minimum, and I'm not just like dying at having to maybe watch your show again. It's like, yeah, okay. Like there's some things to appreciate here. And so 7's almost like a sweet spot for me, because I don't necessarily expect everything to hit above that. Like I would say Reacher probably falls in that 7-8 range, depending on the season and depending on the episode.
Right.
It's like good television. I like the characters. It's not always totally like syncing up plot wise, but there's enough of it that I like, and I like the actors and the stories that they're telling that it makes up for maybe some of its shortcomings or whatever. Like, it's just good television. It's like I've been saying for a long time, like, we need more Sevens. Like, we need more David Sevens, not IGN Sevens.
Yeah.
That's the you can quote me. But yeah, like that's kind of where I'm at with it.
You didn't see my I don't know what you call it now. I guess my ex post.
You can call it tweet. I don't care. Your post. I think
tweet.
That's,
but someone, so Larian CEO Swin Vinky thinks that game reviewers should also be reviewed. Anyway, whatever. I just, I read it and then I just re-quoted it, and I said I give IGN a 1 out of 10 and tagged you in it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. I wanted to say 7 out of 10 because that's what they give like bad movies.
Well, Joseph, that's a decent segue. We don't have to talk about this forever, but I thought this was so fascinating, and I think as an overall conversation, more than the specific target currently, this is like a conversation we have often. Did you see all the stuff going on with Highguard? Like, it's been all over.
A little bit, but I just could not care less. So I don't play competitive sweaty games anymore. So I was like, yeah,
neither do I.
That's
it's more about the overall conversation surrounding it. It's all of the like game journos and all of the people within that industry are circling the wagon so hard with that game to the point where it's weird. Every major publication that covers like video games basically was coming out and being like, oh my gosh, why has the internet gone so downhill? Like, let me see if I can find.
Oh, so they're coming out defending the game, even though the game, a lot of people are reviewing it and calling it trash.
Some people are saying it's trash. A lot of the takes that I saw from it were people being like, Jeff Keighley never should have announced this as the final game at the Game Awards. He's been gassing this thing for like over a month, saying it's like the next big thing. And then all of these journalists were coming out and saying that it was. Let's see if I can find some of this. PC Gamer said Highguard deserves a chance. Don't kill it out of spite. Cliff Blazinski, who did Gears of War, came out and said, when did... And this dude hasn't made a game in, like, a while. He's just, like, he's part of that industry. Said, when did it become trendy to hate on a new game? I'm sure you've heard that in other contexts before, Joseph. Been seeing it more in recent years. It's exhausting. Kotaku, of course, the bastion of games journalism. Jeff Keighley forced to declare he has no financial stake in Highguard as he's swarmed by unhinged haters.
I'm not really surprised because I know a lot of these, especially AAA game studios, pay for game reviews in popular, outlets.
Yeah, it's just it. And what was weird about it, looking through all of the different things that were like going on about that, is just like how hard people were going at like I never heard of this before, but like this one like website was like, Highguard is yet another symptom and victim of a rapidly decaying internet, and it's just like, what are y'all talking about? Yeah. Like, this is and the only thing that I can come up with is, and we've talked about this in Hollywood's example too, these people live in a bubble. They're creating these things in a bubble, thinking that they're making something incredible. Because from a technical, like
everyone around them is agreeing.
Exactly.
And they make. Well, here's the thing, David. They make them for their bubble. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're not making it to please the audience. And we've talked about this before, dude. Like with plenty of things. Go ahead.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's that they're not willing to. They don't have the ability to filter out genuine criticism and to look at criticism for what it actually is. and then people just being jerks. But people have always been jerks on the internet. This is as old as the internet. It's never going away. You're never going to be able to stop it. You have to be able to learn to filter it, and you have to be able to disconnect yourself from it. But you also have to be willing. Like, if you're making this kind of game, right? This doesn't, and this was my position on it too. I was like, I saw the trailer, didn't really do much for me. I don't play like sweaty FPSs anymore. I like my mega bonks and my medieval dynasties, and there was
where
something
you could just
else.
chill and be immersed in a story.
If I pull up like Steam, let me do this real quick. I'll like Valheim.
I was talking to you about that game last week.
Yeah, I played a lot of this game called Schedule 1 last year, where you basically are just a drug dealer. you set up your little like manufacturing plants inside of these different places, and then just like sell drugs to people and collect money.
David.
Visceral Cleanup Duty, which is literally just you cleaning up after monster attacks and stuff. Like, you're a janitor basically, and you clean up like bodies and all this sort of stuff. It's pretty chill, right? There was a couple other things. What was the other game that I played like a bunch of last year? There was one other one. I don't even remember what it was.
Football 2014.
Yeah, but like things like Repo and we were really into like Lethal Company for a while. I mean, and both of those are multiplayer, but it's not competitive. You're just hanging out with your friends, collecting items, like just to have like goofing off and having a good time. Like I'm at the point in my life. Oh, my favorite game of last year was Expedition 33.
Yep.
This indie studio came from Ubisoft. Obviously, they have talent, and made a $50 game. It's over. I mean, you could spend 100 hours in that game if you really wanted to. Swept the Game Awards. For the most part, is like genuinely considered great by most people. Like people see it for what it is, even if it's not their thing. A buddy of mine at work, I recommended it to him, and he's like in love with it now. And so it's like, it's not. The internet isn't decaying. People aren't hating for most people. They're not hating for the sake of hating or trying to get views just by hating. Like, it's been proven already that that's not how you get the best engagement. It's the quote unquote, for now, this term's going to get destroyed at some point, but it's like what they've been calling like toxic positivity, where, like you were saying, they've been surrounding themselves with this, oh, everything's great, oh, we're all great, like we're doing this great thing, and then their thing fails and they go, oh, well, now all of us are going to lose our jobs and everything's terrible, and then that whole industry just writes articles about how they need to unionize and how it's terrible that they're all losing their jobs. And I'm just like, man, if I get fired, nobody does that for me. You know, like if a business I work for goes under, no one's like, oh, all those poor people or whatever. They're losing. It's such an echo chamber for them, and everybody over the last 10 years has been so like worn down by it that nobody has patience for them anymore, and that's part of it too. And that entire industry does 100%. Not understand that. So anyway, that's my piece on that. I don't want to like dig into it for too long. And there's I guess I can bring this up again. I don't know if there's something else that you wanted to talk about. I only have one more thing to talk about tonight.
No, I don't think so. I don't know if there is anything else. I mainly was just going to bring up the Lord of the Rings and us talking about Fable and kind of the state in that regard.
Where are you?
It's hard to trust. Like, I want to get excited about an open world Lord of the Rings game, but listen, it's very easy for the modern to the focus to focus on that bubble, right?
What if they
versus making something that's authentic to Tolkien or the source material, whatever it is?
What if they just did kind of something? What if they didn't do well? Like, the lore's there. It's just something that came to mind. Because I think it's like a really easy way to handle something like that. What if they did something that was just like the Dunedain Rangers, which I guess is technically what
Aragorn is?
Well, yeah, but the I'm pretty sure that's what the guy from Shadow of War and
oh yeah, well that would be fine. But I think so. Here's the thing when it comes to the game. You know, the key point in the article that was released October of last year talking about the game, that they want to rival Hogwarts Legacy,
Oh,
and supersede it is okay. So if they're going to do that, and I don't know, I don't know Harry Potter that well, but I do know that that game was set like while Dumbledore was a baby and stuff like that. And so there's no,
sure.
you get to be the chosen hero, and it doesn't violate any of the lore Rowling wrote. If they wanted to do something similar, yeah. Well, if they want to do something similar, okay, so you got one option would be the Lord of the Rings, right? Which they could do, but the problem is you got Frodo, Sam, Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli. You got all these different heroes, right? Like these major heroes of the story, and so it'd be hard for you to come in there at least in. They can still make it. I would still enjoy it, and I'd be fine with it as being more like a supporting hero type deal in that. I think it'd be freaking fun. I mean, massive battles and stuff like that would be great. They could do the War in the North, and do a better job because it'd be open world to where you got Eriador, you have Erebor, Dale, and you're fighting in that area, Lothlorien. So there's different things they could do in that sense. But to me, if they're going to try and do something to where they still got to follow Tolkien's lore, but they do something that hasn't been done yet to where you can be the chosen hero, they're probably going to do the Angmar Wars. Maybe they do the Second Age.
Yeah.
Something in the Second Age. But I imagine they do the Angmar Wars, the Fall of Arnor. I'm just trying to think. I mean, they could do something in the Far East, maybe, and but nobody necessarily would only want to play in the Far East. You still have to have the previous
no.
worlds available.
You got to have. I think you got to points. There's got to be some boxes checked in the sense of like people need to be able to like have some recognizable.
Go to the Shire, Rivendell, Mordor.
Yeah.
Minas Tirith, Eriador, the Iron Mountains, the whole scope of Middle Earth needs to be in the game.
Yeah.
But as far as timeline, I mean, again, I still wouldn't mind if they did the main story and, you become a hero, whatever. I mean, instead of it being a forge your own path, maybe it's not exactly like Hogwarts Legacy, but you still get to assist and help in some capacity.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm interested.
More than likely, I think they're going to do the Angmar Wars.
Yeah.
I think they'll do that because it's that's the rise of the Witch King. He comes out. Arnor is having a civil war. Just had a civil war, where two of the kingdoms pretty much fall, and so forth. So
yeah,
I think that would be pretty cool. But I personally still want Sauron and the mix somehow. And, I think it'd be cool to do. You could also do the War of the Dwarves and Orcs, the Elves and Sauron. That's Third Age. You could do the Second Age, the Last Alliance. So, there's many different things they could do.
The only other thing that. Well, sorry. On that note, we were talking. I got a whole bunch of books for my birthday, and
you did.
Yeah, I'm finally I was so out of reading for a little while there. So I'm finally finishing my most recent read of Lord of the Rings, and then I'm gonna probably do Fall of Gondolin, and then start on Unfinished Tales and. Whatever else came in that.
That's funny. I just started to read Lord of the Rings last week, and I'm in the Lothlorien chapter.
Nice.
And Fellowship.
Yeah. It's so good, dude. His stuff, I don't know why, this was kind of an opinion when I was growing up, but, people just, thought his stuff was way harder to read than it actually is.
No, it's not that hard.
I know. I don't get it.
How it was for me growing up. Tolkien stuff's so hard. I'm obviously I'm reading it now, not when I'm in middle school, so my perspective is different. So it's not hard now.
And the stuff with the poems and the singing and stuff, I'm just like what was that? And I guess it's an immaturity thing, right? When you're a kid, it just some stuff doesn't resonate with you like it does as you get older. And I think
of course, but I was reading the Bible when I was a kid.
Sure. But yeah, it was just
And
that
his
was always
stuff
kind of
more complex than that. So.
Yeah. It's very interesting, that sort of perspective, because even now, like, we talk about this sometimes, but I'll have conversations with people at work, and they'll be like, I grew up, like, I heard this today, and they tried to like snap back at me or whatever, but they were like, yeah, I don't know why, but I grew up reading all these like fairy books. And I like laughed a little bit, and they're like, you don't have any room to talk, you read Lord of the Rings. And I'm like, excuse me. I was like, they are not on the same level, and please do not respect like essentially a piece of history at this point, talking about your little fairy books. Like, it's not the same thing, not even close.
That's funny.
Yeah, like there's so much.
What kind of fairy books did they mention?
Bruh.
Anything specific?
That whole thing is weird. It's basically like it's basically like,
are they talking about like actual fairies?
No,
like books like that, or like fairy tale books?
No, like books where fairies are the main characters. It's like this weird. And you might know a little bit about this.
I know. Yeah.
Okay. I don't. It's basically new Twilight. Like
it's like when I heard somebody said they like Harry Potter better because it's more mature than Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
It's not a kid's story. That was their exact words.
Listen, I'll give. I was telling some people this today too. I will give some credit to the Harry Potter fan base, only because I have yet to run into any of them that when I've told them that I think she's kind of a terrible writer, I don't get a lot of like clap back from that. They all are. They're mostly in agreement that like, it's a mixed bag.
Right.
It's a mixed bag. She did a lot of things that totally broke. I mean, we've talked about it before with like the time travel stuff. Like, she broke that world.
Oh yeah,
pretty quickly. I mean, I think that's the third book where Hermione's using that. I can't remember what it's called, but she's using this little thing to like take extra classes, and she's basically just traveling through time to do it. Like she keeps going back in time, and like she sets up some like, I can't remember, there might be a few like arbitrary rules in there about it or whatever, but the fact that the wizarding world literally has a time travel device.
Yep.
And it's like, guys, her stuff, like her doing the whole thing where like the entire wizarding world doesn't want to say the word Voldemort out of like some weird fear. Like, I just don't think any of that stuff was ever handled in a way that I would call mature, right? And obviously she was writing kids' books. Like, she was writing kids' books. She wasn't writing Lord of the Rings. Like, it's not the same thing. They're not in the same sort of like territory, Harry Potter has just been massive, and people grew up with it, so they love it, and I get that. But I think they're aware that it falls more into that young adult category than Tolkien, which is like, I mean, it's all fiction, but like there's a difference between the fiction that Tolkien was writing and what what's her face? Her name's slipping my mind right now.
JK.
Yeah, JK Rowling. Yeah, not the same. Okay, one last thing.
Not at all.
Okay. I just think this is funny, and I sent you a thing about this earlier or whatever. The other thing that has been like showing up on my timeline lately that I think is still, that I can't believe we're still having this conversation, is that these people are still coming out talking about how like Killmonger's this like anti-hero.
Yeah,
bruh. It is shocking to me the number of people that still don't understand that movie and still don't understand him as a character and have this like idea and this persona of who he is, not who he actually is, but it's like headcanon of who he is. And then they want to try to argue that the people who are like, well, he's a murderer. Because
David,
dude,
is the guy that committed global genocide a villain?
He wanted to, yeah, he's literally like, he's basically like, I'll murder anyone, including the children of the oppressors or whatever. And then you tell people that, and they go, he never said that. And then like people will pull direct dialogue from the movie and go, it's right here. And they go, well, that's not what he meant. Or like the amount of just like shifting and moving that people do in order to do this, it's crazy, man. I saved one thing that somebody said that I thought was pretty like on the point. Let me see if I can find it real quick before we go, because this is, dude, we're always dealing with this, and like I keep telling people, it's like, you don't you don't like him because of what he stood for. You like Michael B. Jordan and you like his performance, and you're taking certain aspects of things from that and saying that's his entire character when it's just not true. Like I saw one one of the funniest ones. Someone said, because one of the big arguments for him not being a good dude or whatever is that he killed his girlfriend in the movie, and he did it for like selfish ambition, because the only thing that Killmonger cares about is himself and this like ideological drive to basically start a race war. Like that's pretty much what he's doing.
Oh yeah, global war at that.
Yeah. He literally is like trying to give weapons to people in China to start like a race war there. It's nuts. Like it's insane to me that anyone thinks this is like
he believes in oppression and genocide people.
Yeah, but so this one person is obviously it's like random person on X or whatever. They
Talks
were
of
like
killing children.
He goes they weren't like a couple, they were co-workers. And he's like, someone was like, how often are you making out with your co-workers? Something to that degree or whatever. It was so funny. And yeah, people are just coming out and being like, he's basically the equivalent to like Black Hitler. Like his ideology is very similar. Like he wants to wipe out, and he'll do anything, including starting a war like in Wakanda to get what he wants, like killing people who look like him. People he allegedly cares or says that he cares about, right? And then people are like, well, he just wants to give like weapons to people in the hood, and it's just like, what are y'all talking about?
I think where people come from is that because he viewed, basically that he wanted to arm the oppressed. What was that? There was a line he said. Oh shoot! I'm trying to think. But basically, he wanted to use Wakanda's power to arm the oppressed people of African descent, basically worldwide, to lead a global revolution, right, against colonialism and systemic racism. But the means that he wanted to do it through were imperialistic means. The very means that he's fighting against were the means he was going to use to further it.
Yeah.
So, that's the same method as. Like if you want to take his premise that, hey, I want to arm the oppressed people because they were oppressed with colonialism and systemic racism, you can't use those same means to then release people from it. You know what I mean? And then garner another, systemic racist and imperialistic society.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it's just like, so you're
because
into
people find that goal, but because people find that his view sympathetic, right? And right in principle, that's where they get the illusion that he was the good guy. And it's like,
right in principle,
he murders without any hesitation, has no problem with killing children, has no problem starting global war and genocide.
Yeah, if he was a good dude and he wanted to help the people that he considered to be oppressed, and he had some sort of claim to something going on in Wakanda, the way that you would do that and be a good dude is not to give the people you claim to care about weapons in order for them to probably get absolutely murked, not only by just like general governments around the globe, but the Avengers also exist at this time.
Yes, in this world.
Thor is a thing, right? Like it makes zero sense. Like Hulk is a thing. Like these guys aren't going to go like, yeah, Killmonger, clearly you are correct in trying to start this global war, global race war. It's like incredibly absurd.
He betrays, he's selfish.
Yeah.
And ultimately he prizes himself and what his ideas are over any form of peace and unity.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Pretty villainous to me.
Yeah. Pretty bad, dude. And it's just it just boggles my mind that we still have to talk about this. This gets brought up every couple of years, I think. Like we're due time for like it tried to poke its ugly head out again, like the Last Jedi stuff. Like we just kind of go through these cycles of people trying to bring up topics to see like what the water feels like if people have changed their mind on things. Like there's still people who are like, oh, give it another 10 years. People love the sequel trilogy, the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and like another 10. It's been 10 years. And then they're like, well, give it another 10 years. And it's like, guys, definitively people that conversation has been talked to death. Everybody has torn those movies to smithereens, like analyzed every detail of them, how they connect. It's kind of the same thing with a lot of the Marvel stuff, like not the newer stuff necessarily. Like I don't care about any of that. It's all terrible anyway. It doesn't matter whether it fits in properly or not with the universe. It's all bad in general. Like they're not even like good movies, so who cares like how they technically fit in with anything like prior to Infinity War. Yeah, it's really weird, dude. And one of the funny things I saw this morning too is some guy referred to him as an anti-villain, and it's like, my guy, an anti-villain is just a hero. Like what are you?
Yeah,
you know,
right.
The words kind of matter in that, you know, because I think he's thinking like anti-hero, which isn't even really. It's not the case either, because there's like typically redeeming qualities to somebody like that. It's like they bad things for the right reason, but like they're not necessarily trying to cause like genocide necessarily, right?
Right.
Or they're like there's like selfish ambition, and like they learn to be like heroic even despite some of that. Like Han Solo probably, like I guess he becomes more of a traditional hero, but like early on he's probably closer to an anti-hero than he is a, you know, because he's cool and there's certain things and characteristics about him that you like, but he also is incredibly selfish, and it's like through other characters and your actual hero of the story that he learns to kind of become something better than he was. So anti-hero is like a kind of a weird one. It's like,
yeah,
I've always found that to be sort of like a muddy territory or whatever, but yeah, man. All right. Well, we're at about an hour. That was pretty good. I think that's all I got. Man. We can talk about, I want to talk about like Hunt for Gollum and get your feelings on that, but I think we'll just wait till next week. I like the hour mark for now. I think it's good for us, because that was one of the things I had on here, but we can wait. It's fine. We can talk about that next week with episode 3. And is there anything else coming out? We haven't quite. February, there's going to be a few things I want to talk about, but I feel like...
Didn't I send you the schedule?
You did. I haven't looked at it. I've been busy.
Jeez, David.
Bro, I literally, like, I get home from work, edit.
Oh, I only have... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying...
I edit, eat dinner.
Yeah, I, like, edit, eat dinner, and, like, go to bed. Yeah. And I've been reading. I started taking, like, an hour before bed, and I'm reading for an hour.
I just have an Eye of the Seven Kingdoms holding us through February.
Okay. There's definitely some movies. I feel like even if you can't see it in theaters, you should check out
Wuthering Heights.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about that. That'll go over well on our channel. We'll just Lord of the Rings versus Wuthering Heights.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Who
has a better love story? Yep. Arwen and Aragorn versus whoever the people are in Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights, I should say.
Good luck, have fun, don't die in February.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That one in particular, I no idea if it's going to be good or not. But it looks cool, and it's a movie to talk about. So, Pendragon Cycle is worth watching. It's got flaws, but I'm enjoying it. Ooh, I've seen a few people talking about that, and I feel like if anyone's been around long enough, they know how I feel about Daily Wire. But I'll find ways to watch it.
Oh yeah.
Pendragon Cycle. It's like
is it?
It's the It's King Arthur. It's the Daily Wire did like a King Arthur TV show called the Pendragon Cycle. It's based on books, I think. Pretty sure.
We can find ways to watch it.
Seems cool. I mean, like for the most part, what I've seen looks good. We'll
have to use David's Daily Wire.
Yeah, my Daily Wire account. Oh man. Yeah, I am curious about that. That's actually something I wouldn't mind taking the time to watch. I just keep forgetting it's out because they hide it all behind. I'm pretty sure you have to have like a subscription to them to watch it, and so it's like it doesn't it not having some sort of like mass release or being on like a popular streaming service. It hurts it ultimately because it's like it's like y'all they've got to figure out a different distribution thing. Like Maybe they are going to keep it behind like their paywall for a little while and then try to get it distributed to somebody else. But they got to do something because like people aren't going to pay attention to it if it just stays behind that. And it's kind of bad for Daily Wire because they get into so much like heat all the time, you know, whether it's like politics or their own drama or whatever the case may be, that it's not. It's almost like they need to separate those two things and not be like it's on Daily Wire Plus, but like figure out a way to, like I said, just distribute that better. Because it's just going to turn a lot of people off, regardless of like their political things, just because of the drama with Daily Wire all the time.
What's that?
Or the associations is probably the better term.
What's that new Christian animated movie that just came out? I've heard good things. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. I've heard really good things about it, actually.
Interesting.
So. Yeah, David. So.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time when they make these movies, they're not really accurate.
Yeah. I don't really like the animation. I've seen like a little bit. I don't know if I don't know if it's gonna be like story-wise, I don't know, but like animation's like a weird one because like if I don't like your animation, like
it's hard for me to watch a movie.
It's hard. It really is. A good story can make up for it. But it would be interesting to see how.
I already know the ending.
Isn't it Angel Studios too?
Oh, let's see.
Weren't you the one that was telling me they're like Mormons?
Who made David? No, I don't think it was Angel Studios. I think they are Mormons, aren't they?
I don't know, man.
Is Angel Studios Mormon?
I thought you were I could have sworn you were the one that told me that.
Yeah, it's a Mormon-founded company.
Oh, heard. Okay.
But this movie is produced by Sunrise Animation Studios in partnership with Slingshot Productions and 2521 Entertainment, and distributed by Angel Studios and in the U.S. and Empire Entertainment in South Africa, in case you wanted to know that.
Cool. Well, we'll see. Maybe I'll get around to it eventually.
Yeah.
It's tough, man, like trying to find time to like watch stuff that like we're not going to talk about or stuff that I'm not like particularly interested in.
Yeah, that's what made it so hard for me to watch The Rip.
Yeah, and that one I just like happened to, I had that like week off or whatever, and it was just, I was like, well, I'm kind of caught up on everything right now, and I was like, I kind of want to watch a movie. I was like, I'll just throw that on.
I think technically Mexican is technically Mormon.
Oh, is he?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, and technically, I don't know if you're here or not. We'll get in touch, but like we need to have you on so we can talk about some of this stuff too.
Avatar.
Oh gosh. Wait, technically, are you Mormon? Is that real? I guess we never talked about that.
No.
But yeah, we need to have you on regardless, and we need to talk about good old Night of the Seven Kingdoms once, maybe for episode 3 if you got time. We'll have you on.
Yeah.
He has 6 wives. Congratulations, man. I think. I don't know. That I don't know if congratulations are in order for that, dude. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of The Underground. This is actually episode 225. I said that last week was, but I got my numbers wrong somewhere a few weeks ago, so we were an episode ahead, quote unquote, but it's all good now. I fixed everything. So thank you all so much for joining us, whether you were lurking in the troll room during our live stream or whether you catch this on one of your favorite podcast apps. We will be back next week talking about Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and I'm sure there will be plenty of new news and drama coming from the entertainment world that we'll cover. But until then, y'all take it easy.
See ya.